Hello, welcome back to They Don't Tell You.
Hello, I'm Stephen Green.
And I'm Nikki Limo.
And if you aren't watching this on YouTube, you're missing how hot Nikki looks right now.
You're missing how hot I look right now. He just thinks I'm hot because I'm wearing this like new lace
I like it.
shirt.
Oh, it's new now.
I said the shirt was new. The skirt's not new.
I said you said
the whole outfit's
outfit.
new. It's not the whole outfit. It's just the shirt.
Partially new outfit.
The shirt is new.
Let's go, boys.
Anyway, he thinks it's hot. So
I love it.
That's nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're also missing how hot Steve is. He's in
I have my Tommy Bahama Colts shirt.
A Hawaiian Colts shirt.
My Tommy Bahama Colts shirt.
And but the other day you were on my Instagram stories and you were wearing a Colts hat and a Raiders t-shirt and you got a lot of shit for it in my comments.
Good. I hope I did.
So
you want to
explain yourself?
Well, I am literally a professional troll, so I enjoy that. I love it.
And I heard sometimes you wear Commander's gear.
It gave Nikki more engagement. I do. I have literally a Commander's jacket that I wear. I wore that during the playoffs last year, which I did to piss everyone off at this local spot that I go to called Americana. So.
Okay. So today, maybe we'll piss some other people off.
Because they always see me in Colts gear, and I thought it was funny to show up in a Commander's jacket.
Okay,
as soon as playoffs started.
Yeah, I was very confused by that, to be honest. Like, I understood the Raiders because you went to their training thing and like you had a t-shirt. But yeah, the Commanders threw me for a loop when you did that. All right, so today is a very special day because we're taking questions directly from you sent to our podcast email. If you have a question, by the way, you can ask us a question about anything. I can't guarantee the answer will make it on the show if you ask something like really embarrassing, but podcast at nikki.limo. That's podcast at nikki.limo. And we'll do our best to get to them. However, we've been so busy, apologies, that the earliest one of these was from June.
Apologies, love you.
At least we're not 6 months behind. We've been 6 months behind before. This is 3 months behind. It was at the end of June. Okay.
Do better.
It was the end of June, so it's like 2.5 months behind.
Okay, love it.
Okay. So we're going to jump into those. But yeah, I haven't read them beforehand, so I don't know what they're all about. Here we go. First one is titled, I'm slowly falling out of love with my husband. Help. Okay. Yeah, that's a toughie. That's a tough title. Buddy. Okay. Hello, Nikki and Steve. I love the podcast and truly value the humor and advice y'all offer. Keep up the fantastic work. Thank you.
Love you. Thank you.
We love you. Thank you for the compliments. I'm having issues in my marriage and would like your advice as a neutral third party. I believe the issues are fixable. I'm just not sure what steps to take next. So my husband and I have been married for 6 years. My husband is absolutely amazing. We share similar interests, have a similar sense of humor, and love to learn and grow together. Things were smooth sailing for the first 5 years. Things shifted, however, when we had a child. Our son is currently 1 year old. We are amazing co-parents and work together to make sure our son has a happy and healthy childhood. We communicate often about what needs to be done throughout the day, logistics-wise, and fully trust each other to make sure that things get done for our son and that the chores around the house are completed. The issue comes with our romantic relationship towards each other. Now that we have a child, time is a hot commodity. Before having our son, we were more casual with when we would spend time together versus when we would spend time by ourselves recharging. Now we often have to choose between getting chores done, spending time by ourselves, and spending time together, just the two of us. I've noticed that we spend less and less time together and more time alone apart from each other. It's slowly becoming a situation of parallel lives. I have suggested that we designate certain days of the week where we will specifically spend time together after our son goes to sleep. We both liked this and it did well for the first couple of weeks, but now either of us have the energy to really come up with something to do as a couple. Even selecting a movie to watch feels like a chore. I find myself slowly resenting my husband more and more and falling out of love with him. This realization is devastating because he's my best friend and I want to spend the rest of my life with him. Any suggestions on what to do when time spent together is limited and we're both too exhausted to take the lead on organizing what we do together? Thanks so much, Anonymous.
Break up. No, I'm kidding. No, honestly, you have to find a thing that you both are jazzed to do. Like even something simple. Like me and Nikki, if me and Nikki, well, it has to be the right mood, right? It has to be the good mood. And we don't have a kid, so it's tough. But we have 4 cats, so we can kind of we basically built a kid with 4 cats, so we know how this goes.
Yeah, it's exactly the same.
It's the same thing. I'm kidding out there, Jesus. But so like for example, me and Nikki, we watched Wednesday recently. We like the Wednesday show.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say that we haven't watched a lot of narrative shows lately.
No.
We mostly watched a lot of garbage.
Yeah, we ran out of garbage to watch. So I was like, let's watch a narrative show.
We were drinking the juice out of the bottom of the garbage can. And then Nikki's like, what if we watch this show? And I was like, what? Which one's that? You know?
Ew. It's such a gross visual.
I know,
Why
it's
did you
rough.
do that with the
Like,
gulp?
can you smell it too?
No, I hate it.
It's bad.
Ah.
Point being, right? What's something you both can't wait to do that you think you could share? I think that's something, because then you both won't exactly have to drag yourselves there, right? That's what I think.
I'm going to be really honest, because I kind of have an not opposing take, but I think it's just so hard with a kid. I think that like it's easy to say, because like for us that would be a fix, but
we basically have a kid because we have 4 cats.
Yeah. It's totally the same.
Same thing.
I honestly think that you guys should give yourself grace as new parents for the first 2 years at least.
Yeah.
I've
when
heard
it comes to romanticals.
Yeah, I've just heard like having a kid under 2 years old, you're like you're not getting enough sleep. Your brain is fogged. Like everything's fogged. Like your hormones are crazy because like your body's trying to regulate again, and like if you're breastfeeding, that throws off other things. And so there's just a lot of stuff on top of like the time constraints, and like there's a loud new other being in your house that it's going to be there for a while, and you have to deal with like sleep schedules, and they're constantly changing when they're that young. They're like every month it's like a new baby. You know, like that's why they go by months instead of years. When it's like a toddler, they're like, my kid's 14 months old, and you're like, that's a year. Okay, like why are you going by months? But because it's like they change so much month to month.
I don't know a single couple, by the way, to have your back, Limo, who hasn't had massive issues after having a kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Like not a single one.
Not a single one. It changes your
the whole thing,
relationship, life, like everything.
It scrambies it.
Like I'm not saying like it always is in a bad way. Like a lot of times you grow together and you're like, you know, becoming parents together, and you share that experience. And like there's many couples that are like wouldn't take it back for the world. Like obviously like they're not gonna take it back for the world, and they believe that they've gotten stronger. But it was after the first 2 years.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like the first year was rough.
What Nikki's
for
saying
them.
is like growing pains. And,
yeah. Every single couple, the first
one.
year
Not one.
is like the roughest, where they're like, did we make the worst mistake ever? Yeah. So,
but also too, and this is, I don't think a lot of people talk about this because there's like a weird stigma around it, and I don't think there should be. Like at the end of the day, if you guys just wanted to like be back to yourselves and like not have to worry about any of that stuff, you could just take your kid to the fire department, but you have to put him in a basket.
You have to put it in the basket. People don't know that.
They don't know that.
People put them in other in like a little bassinet. Like no, you got to put it in a goddamn basket.
And we've had people email the show and they're like, hey Steve and Nikki, we love the show so much. My kid's 16 years old. I'm like, put him in a damn basket
and put him in the fire department.
Right, but they have to buy a bigger basket.
It is bigger and therefore a little more expensive for the bigger basket for a 16-year-old. But you could do it, and they can't give it back. They can't give your kid back. They're not allowed to.
It's the fire department.
They have to take your kid.
Then you can watch as much Love Island as you want.
But I honestly, in order to prevent like years of resentment building up that then you can't fix, I do think that it's good that you guys are both trying at least.
Checking in.
Yeah, checking in. And like, I also think it's okay to like not be over the moon about each other like during this time that's really stressful. Yeah, I don't know. And I understand. I would be scared too. Like if I was like, oh no, I'm falling out of love with my best friend. But it is a big change, and I don't think that it's like one of those where it's like, oh, I'm never gonna fall back in love. It's like there's just a really big disruption to your normally scheduled programming, right? So
I love that. Give yourself grace.
Yeah. But I like that you guys are trying, though. I do think that that's important.
But she says they stopped trying because they got exhausted.
Exactly. Don't try to pick things that are going to make it easy on you. Like Steve said, like either something you're both excited about.
That's what I think. I think the simple fix. It's like something you're both are jazzed about.
But it's really okay. As a chronically fatigued person.
Yes.
Sometimes it's just hard to get excited. Sometimes, like I just don't get excited.
Okay, let me put it like this.
About it.
If I told you right now, tonight, because I know you very well, that there's a new circle and it just dropped tonight, I think you're kind of jazzed.
Yeah, true. But you know why?
Why?
It's because you already did it for me.
Explain.
Like I didn't have to use mental power to figure out what we're doing today.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah.
And like I didn't have to like.
But let me ask you this: did I find you something that you dread?
I would use the word relief. more than excitement.
Got it.
So like, I'm not excited. I'm just relieved that at this point in time, I will not have to do anything related to work or children. And now we can just watch this thing.
So you're putting yourself in a pair of shoes right now.
Yeah, exactly.
But you, Nikki Limo Green right now,
right.
If I was like, there's a new circle, are you kind of like fist bump in the air? Are you hype? Are you breaking glass? Are you?
If we had finished watching Wednesday, I would be more hyped, which we have 2 episodes left.
I think it's 1.
It's 2.
I think it's 1.
It's 2. But after the 2, I will be excited to watch the circle.
No, I know that about you, by the way. But I'm saying like as if I see a new thing, you're like, oh, let's freaking go.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah. Like a thing we already like.
Exactly.
Like a pre-established thing we already like, and then there's a new
good
thing.
Good as gold thing that we like, yeah.
Yeah, I think that the most relieving thing to me.
Yeah.
Like, but I do feel relief with the garbage shows. It's like I get to turn my brain off.
Me too.
But it's only if I've finished all my work.
Me too.
So yeah, it can be stressful if you guys are like, we have to do a thing every Wednesday.
No.
I think you should be flexible too.
I agree completely.
And we've done this. So before, we used to like really talk about how important it was to have date nights every week.
Yep.
And then things got really different in Vegas. Like it was just, we were reestablishing
it's like, hey,
a new
on Thursday date nights, I can't do it because I got to do this thing. It's like, go do it.
Yeah. And like, it's so relieving to not have to like stick to that schedule, but that's there, and we would like to do that.
But also there's no melancholy moment of like, hey, I can't make date night, and then the other person turns the camera and like, oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, yeah, fuck yeah, go get it. But me and Nikki, look, we built everything that we have together, so it's like from zero. So it's like we both understand how important it is to like go seize opportunities.
Yeah, and I think there's like a big trust there of like, we did have date nights for so long that like I don't feel like, oh, I'm never gonna have a date night again. It's like sometimes we just like go, oh, let's have a date night tonight.
Yeah, legit.
And it'll just be like that. But I do like that. I do love date nights, but like having it be flexible where it's not like now you feel guilty if you guys aren't doing it,
or you're not stressed.
Yeah, the guilt and stress can also make it less exciting to look forward to. Like now you turn something that was supposed to be an exciting thing to look forward to into like a dread that like you have to be ready for it, and it's like you have to get everything done. And
like when you wake up in the morning and you know you have so much stuff to do, but then you also have a date night.
Yeah.
Like it's like, oh well, now you're not looking forward to it as much because you're just thinking about how much weeds you got to whack.
Scheduled stress factor.
Exactly.
Yeah. So be gentle with yourself.
Yeah.
I think that like having date nights is a good thing, but if it becomes a chore, then like don't do it. Like don't just like reschedule. We don't do it this week. Let's do it next week.
That's it.
Rain check on it. Like, because it is just always up in the air. And this kid is going to keep changing very rapidly throughout the next like few years.
And spilling things and throwing up in the car and a lot of things.
And so you'll get used to a schedule, quote unquote, but then the schedule changes like every couple months because your kid is changing, your lives are changing, and everything is like revolving around this new person that's entered your lives.
Exactly.
And it's going to be a journey, and you guys are going to go through growing pains, and you guys are going to either grow together or grow apart. But right now, at least you both have the desire to want to like spend more time together and fix that. You guys are both acknowledging it, and you both care, and you both want to fix it. So I think that's good. Those are all good signs. I wouldn't, I hope that you don't fall out of love with the person, but I do think that it doesn't sound like you're going the direction of it's irreversible.
I also think if you really feel like you're falling out of love with your person, something you could do that sounds really corny, but you could write down 5 things a day, it won't take long, of how much you appreciate what they do, even if you can't connect with them, just to reinforce to your own brain and sanity maybe why you love this person.
I like that.
That's something that I could see myself doing.
Yeah.
If I felt like I was
you were
in that
falling
space.
out of love with me?
Yeah.
Why would you ever fall out of love with me?
Because maybe I couldn't see your ass anymore because you put too big a dress on. Probably.
I would never do that. My dress is very short.
You're very aware of how to work me.
And if it was long, it would be tight.
Let's freaking go, dog.
You could always see my ass.
Let's go, boys.
You will never fall out of love with me.
Trust me, I know.
All right, so write that in your little journal.
I've been with you for 12 years, dude. I think we're gooch.
Yeah.
But yeah, kids is disruptive. I'm not clowning on anybody.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, and you guys, like, I know if you like have certain love languages, like, yeah, try to do something that reflects those love languages. So if yours is quality time or his is acts of service or whatever it is, like, just like make sure you're doing like little actions that reflect that love language. I think that when that's happening, you maintain that little spark, even when things are tough and hard.
But good luck out there. We're rooting for you big time.
We are rooting for you.
Let us know, please.
Let us know. This was from June, so I hope that things are getting better. So the kid is like, changing every month. So things might have changed since June. But let us know. I think that you're doing the right things. You're asking the right questions. You're acknowledging it early enough before it actually becomes a problem where you're like, I'm not in love with my person anymore. And I hope it gets better, especially if they're your best friend. All right. The next question is titled Pondering Pole Dancing. Okay.
Let's go.
Okay. Hi, Nikki and Steve. My name is Sasha, smiley face. I'm a 30-year-old female from Florida and a longtime listener. I have never written in before, but I know I must first pay the toll in compliments. So here we go. She knows she is a longtime listener.
I'm licking my lips.
Here we go. I love both of you guys so much. Your relationship really reminds me much of that of my husband and I. I just celebrated our 1-year anniversary 2 weeks ago. The way you love each other is something I'm so happy to say I found with my husband. You're true, genuine people. Your passions are infectious. Seriously, I know nothing about poker, but I will listen to Nikki ramble for hours because I'm so intrigued by her passion.
Me too.
By the way, a random side note, I actually named my first propagated plant after you, Nikki, since your green face really inspired me. I love that. Anyways, I hope you accept the compliments and continue to share your energy with the world because you really do touch lives. Oh, that's so sweet.
Love you. Thanks,
you. Sasha.
That's why we do it, man. Honestly,
amazing.
There are days where we wake up and we're like, why do we do this podcast?
Why do we exist?
Why do we do this podcast? But then we hear from Sasha and we're like, that's why we do this podcast.
No, really. I'm like, are people out there still?
Are you there?
Are you listening?
Hello.
There's even a heart emoji. That's so sweet. Thank you, Sasha. I'm reaching out because I want to know more about something Nikki had briefly mentioned in a previous podcast about pole dancing. If I remember, Nikki, you were talking about how you took a pole dancing class after going for auditions as, quote, the hot girl, but never feeling like the hot girl, even though you totally are coming from another straight female, LOL.
Agreed.
Thank you. But yes, that was
By the way,
hard time.
She's saying wood. She's saying wood.
Well,
she says wood.
I appreciate that. Yeah. And it means more coming from a straight lady. Yeah, from a straight female. Big. You said how pole dancing helped you feel more sensual and confident. I'm curious to know about your experience because I'm strongly contemplating pole dancing to try it for myself. Much like how you described, I also have always felt like the awkward, nerdy girl, even though my husband tells me all the time how attractive I am. Sexual encounters often feel silly to me, especially if I'm the one initiating. God, I know that feeling. Okay, my husband is supportive of me trying in this because he ultimately wants me to find and embrace my sexiness. He sees how hard I am of myself and would love to see me embrace my sensuality, as would I. As I contemplate the idea, I'm already getting in my own head about how embarrassing it might be, how I'll look stupid, like an awkward girl trying to be, quote, sexy, especially if there are other people around in the class, or how I might think I look sexy, but I really just look cringe. Not to mention, admittedly, my cheeks get flushed and my face turns red when I'm overheated from working out or when I'm embarrassed, which is entirely probable if I were to take a pole dancing class. People usually feel the need to point out how red I am, leading me to feel embarrassed and self-conscious, thus worsening the redness. I'd be putting myself out there in a very vulnerable way, highlighting some of my own insecurities, and I really don't know how I'd be able to handle it. I almost always resonate with what you say, Nikki, and I'd love to hear about this from you. Could you describe your pole dancing experience? Was it a private class or with other people? I remember you said it was intensive, like 3 hours a day, 3 days a week. How did you feel in the beginning versus after? How did it affect your sex life? And how do you view yourself? And how would you describe the switch in your mindset from awkward nerdy girl to confident sexual woman? Lastly, I just want to add that I genuinely appreciate you taking time to read this. If somehow this didn't get buried in your inbox, LOL. If I decide to give it a try, I'll follow up with an update. Thanks again, and sending lots of love. Sasha, this is amazing. Thank you so much for sending this.
I get why your husband loves you so much.
I know.
You sound really adorable. Adorable.
Yes. Okay, so there are quite a few questions here. First of all, hell yes, you should try it. But could you describe your pole dancing experience? Was it private class or with other people? So the 3 days a week for a month, for 3 hours a day, this was a boot camp that I took after the initial pole dancing class. So I went with friends to the first one because they had tried it and they're like, it's so fun, we should try it. And we were all in the same acting class, and we were all in the same like typecast too. Like they were all like kind of going out for the similar roles, and they all were kind of, are awkward, and it helped. And I don't know. I was skeptical, but I had done private acting classes trying to work on this issue and was like crying every time because I just didn't get it. I just didn't get how to feel sexy in my body. It just felt like silly. So this first pole dancing class, they supplied the shoes, and that's not something they normally do, but like they just happened to have an extra pair of shoes, and I'm glad they did because it was much easier to use the shoes than your bare feet. You can do it with your bare feet, and people did, but the pole dancing shoes, they're like patent leather, and they stick to the pole. So it's not your skin sticking to the pole; it's that shoe. And
so they're not heels. It's like
no, they're heels.
Oh, it's heels.
Yeah, but they're like big platform heels, like big platforms, and the platform part sticks to the pole. You're also using your legs to stick to the pole, so I actually had a bunch of bruises because I bruised pretty easily, but it didn't matter because it was so fun. And I would say that like some of your fears about being in front of other people. Oh, this was a group class, by the way. So it was a group class that I went with my friends at first, and then with the boot camp class, I went with my neighbor friend, and it was 3 hours a day, but it was this boot camp that was an hour of cycling, like spin class, and then it was an hour of yoga-ish things, and then an hour of spin. Hour of
stripping.
Yeah,
stripping.
Not stripping.
Hardcore stripping.
Pole dancing. Yeah.
Thank you.
So it was 3 hours, 3 days a week for a month, and the spinning, I was already doing like the spin classes, and I really liked them. I even had my own spin shoes. It was just a nice way to do cardio. And then you're doing yoga and floor work. It wasn't just yoga. It was like sexy floor work. Like you do like floor exercises and stuff. So that was already like getting you feeling sexy, and you already had a workout.
When you say sexy floor work, can you describe that though? Like are you grinding around on the floor?
Not grinding. It's like there's like fun, slower music playing.
Yeah.
And then the lights are dim, so like being scared of looking flushed or whatever, you don't. It's like the class I took, it was a very safe space.
Cool.
It was all women of different body shapes and ages, and like it was a very non-judgmental class environment. I mean, this was LA and this was like West Hollywood. So it's like a very like, they were already kind of like that, eclectic, like very inclusive type of like group. Yeah. And like, just like the whole time was like getting in touch with your own self. And so everyone's focused on themselves anyway. So no one even has time to look at at the person next to them
so true.
And judge them, because it's all about like working on yourself. So you're doing breathing exercises, and like you're like tapping into like your intimate, like your internal life, like your like what's going on inside you, like without the external distractions. You're just you. Who are you, and then just like feeling the music. And like we're doing different exercises, and they're like, you're doing hip thrusts, but like slow, like sensual. And it's really more about getting in your body. And that's really what sensuality is like being very in your body and in your power in your own body.
Like aware?
Like not just aware, but empowered, okay. Like in control, like where you are fully immersed in your own physical movements.
So how come your silly brain wasn't there?
Because you don't have time to have silly brain, because your silly brain is like you observing yourself.
Yes.
But this is you being in yourself.
Okay.
So you're
fully I think that answers her question
in
pretty well.
Yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the pole dancing part of it is more of a like we did the technical aspects of it. So she'd show you a move. Like first, the most basic one is walking around the pole. And like there's an actual technique to this of like looking sexier than if you were to walk around. Like if I just walked around the pole, it would look way different than the way that they do it, which is like you keep your feet really close to the pole and you like hang out.
Yeah.
And like you walk around
I already like it.
Like this, right? And even just like learning little things like that changes your whole dynamic. And at this point, you're like so connected to your body that like you can feel the difference when you're walking around the pole sensually and when you're walking just like walking, right? And everybody feels a little bit fish out of water. No one in this class that I took was a professional stripper. Now there
It'd be weird if they were in an intro class.
There were advanced pole dancing classes that had like people that have been doing it for years, right? But this is like, you know, definitely enter at the entry level, like the beginner level, where like everyone's a little awkward. No one's like a pole dancer, right? And so everyone's kind of learning this, and it's fun to learn a new thing, you know, and it's fun to like, especially a new thing that's like gets you in your body and connected to yourself.
Totally.
So the exercises were like that, and then like, so she teaches us a move, or maybe like 2 moves, 3 moves tops, like each day. Like it's like 1 to 2 moves, right? And then at the end, like the last 10 minutes is like a free for all where she puts on a song and it's all dim lighting, and you just like, sometimes she split the group in half, but you just like do whatever you want on your pole.
Sick.
But you're not like paying attention to anyone else because you're just like in your own zone.
It seems like that's what these sluts are doing anyway.
Yeah, and there's a big mirror, so like you're looking at yourself, and like we did mirror work too, where we're like going along the mirror and like doing things into the mirror and against the mirror, and so there's even that connection where like you're just like in it with you.
Are you guys wearing like yoga stuff?
I was it was more like workout attire, like
stuff,
but like bike shorts.
Okay.
It was like bike shorts and stuff. If you wanted to, you could bring like sexier things for the last dance or whatever. But mostly like making sure you just have the heels.
Cool.
You could do all the movements like pretty easily. And then like hanging upside down was really cool. Like learning these new things. It was kind of like being a gymnast, but then sensual.
So let's walk it out then. After you did these classes, how do you apply that sensuality, which I think she's also curious about?
Yeah. So I think like the main way that it affected me, because I'm looking at her questions, it said, how did you feel in the beginning versus after? The main thing was just being more connected to that part of me, like not just
you
like
discovered that's a part of you.
Yeah, that there's a part of me, and it opened up.
Yeah,
and it was like it was all closed off, and very like, oh well, that's not modest, you know, like just like silly, and like I'd feel silly like if I just went out and did that, but like because it was such a safe environment, and then we did it, you know, so many times like in that month, like, you know, where I was very comfortable with this, and it became like part of a process. It becomes easier to tap into that, like you find like this sensual part of you that's like your feminine energy. It's like and I think I blocked a lot of that out because I was in a male dominated space. Like I was in comedy, right? And like stand up, and I didn't want to be seen as sexy. I did not want like the male gaze to be like, oh, she's hot rather than she's funny. Exactly. Like I wanted to be funny. So I kind of like purposely had shut that part down, but I shut it down so hard that I couldn't I couldn't access it. Yeah. And so opening that part up again made me feel more empowered. Like it's just a part of me. It's not like that's all I am. I'm not like one dimensional. Like I kind of think that even I maybe had some internalized misogyny where I was like bucketing myself like, oh well, I'm not one of those hot girls, and I was like one dimensionalizing them, you know, like those are hot girls and I'm not one of them. You know, they use their body to get things and I don't, and like I had a lot of stereotypes. And so like when you're like rejecting that because you're associating it with like
it's
this
bad.
Less than it's bad. It's like a shadow self type of thing, like where you're setting that part of you free, and it's not bad. It's actually just a part of you, and it's an authentic part of you. And it's like, you know, everyone has a feminine and a masculine, and I was just shutting my feminine off so hard, and like this just helped access that again. And when you're in tune with that, you kind of fall in love with it. Like you learn to love it more than just like shunning it. Like, and then it's nice for your partner too. Because like
Agreed.
You do sexy dances, and it's like not even for him. It's like for you, but for him, for you, and like you're just sharing an energy.
I will say she's a very sexy side to her. So
thank you.
Can I ask you this though, genuine question? Because I think a lot of the dudes out there are probably wanting this too. Yeah. When you guys are on the pole, like you're grinding on the pole or whatever like that.
You're not really grinding.
But you guys are like up on the pole, and like I've seen you guys wrap your legs on the pole and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you guys just coming nonstop?
Oh yeah, we're coming nonstop.
Yeah, the whole time you're like,
yeah. So that's one of her questions was how did it change your sex life? Well, like I was just coming so much on the pole the whole time. So like then it was like, well,
See,
what do you?
I knew it.
What do you bring to the table?
See, I knew it.
No. No, a washing machine, yes, but a pole doesn't.
Wait, really? Don't make me
What
insecure.
do you think I got as a washing machine?
Don't make me insecure, Limo.
So how did it affect your sex life and how you view yourself? It definitely made me more comfortable, like setting a sexy tone. And by the way, it used to be like more, let's not be too sexy. And now I'm like, this is a safe spot where you are allowed to talk dirty and be sexy and stuff.
Yeah,
and I think that was another thing, is that I was judging my own self about, things that I did find that turned me on, but I thought it was too silly to do.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh, that's good.
And so it was easier to explore after you open up that side of yourself that like it's like you're giving yourself permission.
Totally.
To explore
to be a sexual being.
Yeah, exactly. And I wouldn't even like go into it like I need to be sexy. It's like it's more about like I just want to tap into what the inner feeling is of that, like the feminine energy.
You were distant from it.
Yeah, and then once you find it, and like I don't know if every pole dancing class is the same. Obviously, I only took it from this one place, but like finding it, like you can tap into it again and again, and it does like help your confidence too in that sense. So I hope that helps. And if you do take a pole dancing class, let me know.
Let me know.
It was also, the one I took was females only, like so no men were allowed. And there was a co-ed class, like if you wanted to do it with like a partner, or like if you wanted to, it was a co-ed class. But I think it does help, especially being a woman, like just being away from the male gaze.
Yeah. I bet the co-ed class had 12 dudes in it.
I honestly think that there was mostly gay guys like that wanted to like try pole dancing and stuff, but because it was West Hollywood, so fair. And it was fun. It was very fun. The girls, everyone's very supportive.
Or straight guys, Magic Mike.
You also just like connect to other women in the class, and you realize that you're not alone. That everyone kind of like is finding their own thing.
Makes sense.
Anyway, now we'll go to break.
Yeah.
On that note,
a very late break, but all good.
Yeah. Well.
No.
That was a good question.
It was a great question.
Yeah.
I love it. But sorry for the late break.
Check out our Patreon if you want to support the show. Patreon.com/sticky, STIKKI. We do a Crypto Corner every week with Steve, and then we have a live stream once a month where we do a poker tournament free roll for
our
all of
Discord
our patrons.
Community.
Cash prizes.
Also get the show a day early, and we'll see you after the break.
Hey, we're on a break right now, and I guess we're supposed to promo our show.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about our show.
We're going to talk about a show that you took a break from to talk about how you should listen to our show.
Technically, we're not on break. We're still working.
It's called Shit They Don't Tell You, and it's all the shit that we wish people would have told us that we had to mess up on and figure out ourselves. Now we're telling you about it.
That's it.
And sometimes we answer questions that you send in, and sometimes we judge other people's situations.
So keep listening, and check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/sticky. Thank you.
And shout out to Brian Jorgensen. All right, we're back, and I hope you enjoyed that break. And now we're going to our next question. This one is just simply titled, "Hello, advice, please." Okay,
got it.
Hi, Nikki and Steve. Please leave me anonymous. You got it. My boyfriend and I have been together for 5 years, but he's gradually getting more and more angry / frustrated / no patience for anything. We have a 1.5-year-old together, and I have an 8-year-old daughter from a previous marriage, but she lives with us 24/7. A little backstory. He has been through a lot as a kid, basically raised himself. Him and his brother each went to a parent after their divorce, and he ended up going with his mom. There's a lot of trauma from his past, anything with his grandpa, with dementia, telling him he was going to shoot him in the head anytime he saw him. Oh my gosh. To the house being raided. He was also talking to his uncle one day. He was 12, uncle was 25, and his uncle had a heart attack and died right in front of him. He was the one who called 911 and has had to live through all that while mom was not there for him emotionally, even saying that, quote, he wouldn't understand, she lost her brother, basically making it clear that he shouldn't be having a hard time, only her. I've heard this happening in families before.
Yeah.
His body has always been fight or flight, and he has 100% fight. He doesn't have the resources to go to therapy. He wouldn't know where to start anyway. There's quite a bit of stuff that no kid should ever have to go through. for the sake of time, I will just get to to when I have known him. I met him at work. Another place he witnessed a death and called 911. Was the last person that he talked to the guy who died. More trauma. He was thrown into this guy's job, a lead management position, and they never even trained him. He feels like he's always been thrown into situations. I could see that. Anyway, fast forward to us. There's been a genuine connection. Life was bliss for 2 months with him. He lived within his dad's basement. One day at work, he got a call from his dad, who works away from his home as a truck driver, asked if he heard from his stepmom that day because she wasn't answering the phone. My boyfriend was the last person to see her, but thought she was asleep in the chair, so he didn't think much of it. Turns out she was severely sick with sepsis, and they barely saved her. 2 days went by. She was still in the hospital and got a call that his mom died. His mom, not a stepmom. He's been shattered ever since, even blames himself because the last time he ever saw her, he said he wouldn't buy her alcohol anymore. I try and reassure him that he did that from an act of love and there's no way she gave up based on that. He says otherwise. She had a hard childhood too and always felt alone through everything, and none of her kids would even go see her other than my boyfriend. The first 3 years we never fought, but now it's all the time. I feel like everything sets him off. He's trying to stop vaping, a habit he picked up after his mom died, and we used to be spontaneous and fun, and now it's the opposite. He tells me that he hates that I, let's quote, fly by the seat of my pants, end quote. I hate that that we never do anything anymore. He works out in the hot sun and has physically demanding job now, and I'm mainly a stay-at-home mom. We are still a great match, I think, but grew up totally opposite from him, and I shut down when he's upset. He desperately begs for a conversation, but I can't for the life of me speak up and have one. My dad yelled at me every day of my life until I moved out. The best thing I could do was be quiet and hope he would stop. If I tried to say anything, I would get my ass whooped, and my dad didn't hold back just because I was a child. He would yell at the top of his lungs for hours, so knowing that, me and my boyfriend are total opposites when it comes to any conflict. I'm emotional and shut down. He gets mad. We trigger each other in a way. For the life of me, I just want to be better for him, and I want the old version of him. I worry that he's going to go unalive himself. He always says he hates that he feels like, quote, poison to us. He also genuinely thinks he's been cursed as a baby because he was born 3 months early and was never supposed to make it. Ever since being, quote, lucky to survive that as a baby, he has never had anything to go right. Anything that could happen to ruin something he was excited for does. Anyway, can you help me in any way? He's loyal and really great when he isn't so stressed out all the time. He's a great dad to the kids, a loving partner who makes sure my needs are met, but he's been begging for years for me to help him out of this, and I haven't been able to. He's getting worse and worse, and it doesn't help that after our kid was born, nobody invites us to anything anymore. Maybe thinking we're too busy, but now he feels totally alone with no friends on top of it all.
So I think he just needs to turn his frown upside down.
Shut up. You're such a troll.
Listen, people, no, apparently not. I wear a Raiders shirt and a Colts hat.
And
so,
you're dead serious about it.
Dead serious about it. I meant every minute of it.
Yep.
People are really out there online.
Yeah.
Okay. This is going to sound a little woo-woo for me, especially. As the woo man, too. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I think that you attract what you constantly say all the time. And I'm not talking about things happening to the guy. I'm talking about like how he feels every time something happens. He feels like, of course this happens to me because I think every time that you do that, you're reinforcing it, and you're just attracting more negative energy because you're basically begging negative energy to see you. Mm-hmm. I know that sounds woo and dumb, and especially for me. And oh wait, Steve Green, you're so different on JK News. You don't talk like this. Yeah, look, dude, like that's not the way to get through life, is to say, of course this would happen to me. Like, you're supposed to have a little bit more light in the way that you approach things. And it's tough to do. I'm saying that, like, bro, like, you know, I've had a great life. I really am very happy for everything that I have. But I also think, too, I could zoom in on things that I don't have, and I could really focus on those things. And I could tell people nonstop about those things instead of the great things that I have. Mm-hmm. It sounds like he has a lot of great things, too. But I think we're all focused so hard on the things he doesn't have. And I think that's a really bad thing to do. It's a bad habit to have.
Yeah, I also think that he does need therapy.
For sure.
Like, so what you're talking about, I agree with. I think that when we've been programmed so hard in childhood, meaning having a lot of traumatic experiences during childhood, it's a little harder to rewire without some professional help. And you said he doesn't have the resources, but there are resources out there that can help you. Like, if you don't have that, there's like online ones too, like, you know, we had some sponsors that were before, like
Yeah,
better
for sure. All
help
those
or
guys,
like
yeah.
talk space. You know, there's like those have
There's avenues.
there's licensed counselors there, and they're much more affordable. But even going to one or two professional sessions, sometimes insurance covers it too.
Yeah, true.
Depends on diagnosis, and you know, you have to see a person first. But my point is, I completely agree with you. But I think that it can be hard to find that on your own without a little bit of guidance. Because when you're programmed that way, you just see the world that way, and you don't have anything to compare it to see it any other way. And I think that's what's happening with him. And because like he doesn't have a different outlet for coping with that, he's lashing out in anger, because usually like whatever coping mechanisms you found during childhood are the ones that you're going to use during adulthood. So if you haven't fixed the root issues and rewired that programming, you're just going to keep using these unhealthy coping mechanisms. And for him, it's like yelling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, for sure. Also, it would probably help him a lot if you just told him to smile more.
I mean, does he smile enough?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just joking about what people normally say.
No.
Yeah, no. I really do think though that get
because
therapy.
He doesn't know how
therapy number one.
He doesn't know how to like put
have
these
perspective
or put these emotions in a different way.
Yeah,
you
true.
know, like there's no tool, like he's lacking the tools to deal with what's on his plate emotionally and mentally.
Yep.
In a healthy, productive way.
Totally.
And so I don't know him well enough to like.
It's tough to attack this
attack this from like this standpoint, but I do think that he would benefit from some therapy if he really took it seriously and you know, had a therapist that could go to the root causes of where this stuff is coming from.
I completely agree.
Yeah. But yeah, and that sucks too that like your childhood trauma like is getting triggered by his, you know, thing.
Yeah.
You know, that's a lot to deal with. And then you have a toddler on top of that. We were just talking about on the last episode about this couple that had a 1-year-old, and it was very hard. Everything changed, right? Or was it this episode? Maybe
no, it was last one.
Okay.
Oh no, it was this one.
The
beginning.
One. Yeah, the beginning one. Yeah.
Before the break. The break changes everything.
Yeah, the break changes everything. So like, you know, having a child under 2 years old, like things are just different during that time.
Yeah.
And I think that you guys need to, you know, give yourself grace. But I don't think you should be yelled at. I don't think you should I don't think this way of like fighting all the time is healthy. So yeah, definitely either a couples counselor or a therapist for him would be great.
Yeah, and I think that coming from a family where there's a lot of yelling going on, I think it was a lot of stuff about like there was nowhere to go to, like, you know, I think like my old man particularly just didn't have anywhere to go. He had to come home and yell because that was the only place he could actually yell. So I think that having another place for that would be very beneficial to him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And like, you know, healthy habits, like he works in a physically demanding job, but like, but if he's taking care of his health, like maybe that would help too with that, working out, you know, meditating, just doing like things that sound boring, but they do help.
A lot of benefits.
Yeah.
But hey, keep us posted.
Yeah, definitely. And the whole being like people not inviting him anywhere now that they have a kid. I get that. I mean, it's hard.
It's tough.
That's why I think that like having a kid under 2 is just tough in general, because like nobody wants to go hang out with a kid, like a baby,
it's toughy,
you know,
man. It's toughy.
So it's hard. You're gonna have like someone watch the baby if you guys go out. But I think that's like, you know, manageable if you can do it like once a month. Maybe like let the friends know, like, hey, like we should do something. I'll hire a sitter or whatever.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, but that can be tough for you and your friends.
And if he wants friends, I mean, like nothing beats sort of like that sort of ties into what he could do about his whole situation, which is like maybe attach himself to something else that has nothing to do with work or home, like some kind of hobby or something that he could, you know, he could attack to help himself with.
That'd be a healthy outlet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also like maybe doing things together with other people that have kids, you know,
100%.
like finding like like a group, I don't know, like people that go to the park or whatever it is, like, finding more.
Hey, people play pickleball now. It's big.
I don't know what people with kids do.
Yeah.
But I know they do stuff, and they find each other. And so like it helps like to make friends that also have kids, because then they understand.
Amen.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hope that helps, and let us know how that goes. But yeah, I hope you guys get through that. That's a
Seriously.
lot for.
Let us know. Keep us posted out there.
All right. The next one is titled Being Vulnerable - Long-Term Relationships. Hi, Nikki and Steve. I've been with my husband since 2010. We've moved from Michigan to Florida and back. We have 2 kids together and spend the majority of our time together. There are times when we feel disconnected from one another and get into a loop. We seem to always find our way back, and we both truly love each other and want to continue building. One thing that I struggle with is sharing my vulnerabilities. I know it's a key to keeping our relationship healthy and strong. Is this an important piece of your relationship? If so, what are some ways that help you stay open and keep sharing even when it feels difficult? Thank you very much. I look forward to hearing from you on this topic. Sincerely, Heather. What's up, Heather? Heather's been around for a long time.
Heather, by the way.
Yeah, shout out to Heather.
What an apt question for this particular episode.
Yeah, totally.
As far as vulnerabilities goes, I mean, me and Nikki got each other figured out pretty early on, I think, but it took like a year of infighting for us to figure each other out pretty well. And now I think that those vulnerabilities and things that are like, character building or whatever it was, that like formative stuff that made us who we are, we kind of figured out like, oh, that's why you're this way, or that's why you do that, or whatever.
Yeah. And I think that you've struggled more with sharing your vulnerabilities than me, like, because you want to be strong.
Sure. Yeah. I think that's typically the man's job.
To be strong. Yeah. But like, I think that for you, the times that you have been more open about your vulnerabilities has been like when you felt safe, and like when you felt like a catalyst happened where now you felt like more supported.
True.
Right? Like when in the beginning of crypto.
Yeah. For sure.
And like during some stuff around then, and your grandpa passing, and and so like you would be acting different or weird, but you wouldn't. I don't even think that you knew why, because you kind of would push it to the side instead of examining it.
Sure.
But you would act different, and then we would like kind of open that up.
Yeah.
And then whenever you did open up, you felt better after.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
I think it's good to have somebody who knows you well enough to know, like, when, like, hey, like, what's up with you? And you're like, I don't know yet. You know what I mean? But then, like, maybe you start thinking about it a little bit, and you're like, oh, okay, I think I know what it is. Yeah. But it takes a little bit.
So I think the first question I would ask is, like, why? Like, every time it comes up where you feel like you're being more guarded or, like, not able to open up with your vulnerabilities, like why do you feel unsafe, even though it could be something like this? No, I feel perfectly safe around my husband and I trust him very much, but inside there's a blockage because of some childhood shit that happened. It usually goes back to your childhood. I've noticed that basically every like little blockage that we have, some shit happened in childhood that you need to deal with. And so whatever it is that made you feel unsafe in childhood, you just have to acknowledge it and like remind your inner child that that's not where we are now. Like, we're in a very safe spot now with someone that loves us very much and that supports us very much. And it's okay to open up because they're not going to be mad or leave us or whatever the child was afraid of happening. Like, maybe something happened and you got yelled at, or maybe something happened and your parents left you and were like, well, come back when you're like done with your, whatever. And so you have abandonment issues. Like, there's something that's stuck to you that could have been like that your parents did it like without even thinking about it. Like, it was like innocuous to them back then. But to your child, like the child self didn't know how to process that because this was your parents are like everything in your life. And so that's why so much is affected by just little things that happened. And I'm like terrified of being a parent and like accidentally doing something.
Man,
but you're going to do that and you're not going to know. But you're like everything to this child, and something happened and you feel like unsafe. Like, you have to hold these things inside or else something bad will happen.
Dude, I'll never forget. I was young. I was at Toys R Us with my family. And I was there with my littlest brother Kenny, and Kenny was like, I don't know, 3 years old. He's like barely walking around and stuff or whatever. He's walking around, but like stumbly boy, right?
Yeah.
And I remember there was like this guy there. I was probably 7 years old or something like that, or 10 maybe, like 10 or 11. And I remember there's this guy there, and I really didn't understand anything about sexual things yet.
Yeah.
And there was this guy there who was wearing like sweatpants, and he kept on picking at something in his pocket. He was like looking at my little brother. We were like in the Game Boy area of the Toys R Us, and he kept on picking at something in his pocket. And I thought it was really weird. He was like, pick at this. He had like this. It looked like he had like a flashlight in his pocket. And he kept on picking at this flashlight.
Yeah.
Exactly, but I didn't know.
Right.
And so I told, my parents always said, like, if you see somebody who's acting weird, or like, I remember it wasn't just my parents. It was like school and TV and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, if you see somebody who's acting weird, like, say something. So I went to a security guard with my brother. Obviously, I didn't just leave him there.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, there's this weird guy who just won't stop looking at my brother, and it's just really weird. I just remember thinking it was so weird.
Yeah. Your spidey senses were going
Yeah,
off.
it was really weird. And then I remember getting in the car with my family. We're going home, and I remember, I was recapping it to my old man about how weird it was. He kept on grabbing this hard thing in his pants, and my dad was like, "What?" He's like, "What, Steven? You're lying. You're lying." He's like, "You're lying. You're lying. That's not what happened. That didn't happen." I think it just made him so uncomfortable. He didn't know what the hell to say.
Yeah, of course.
Right. But like for me, I guess I realized many years later that I will lie to make people feel comfortable.
Yeah. It's not okay to
say like,
call out behavior.
To say that's what happened, because I will instead I will lie to make people feel comfortable, because that made me feel really bad, and having my dad call me a liar.
Or not even lie, but just hold back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it took me a long time to realize that that's what I was doing sometimes. And again, I didn't even go to therapy for this. It just was a eureka moment for me.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like, holy shit, that was that's what it was. And like, I don't sit here and go, and therefore my dad's a bad person or anything. That's not the case. For all I know, the cat, he's working all the time. Like, he worked all day, and then like,
parents are just people
didn't sleep. Exactly.
That haven't dealt with their issues.
For all I know, like his day was the worst, and then he comes and goes to Toys R Us, and then his kids like saying crazy shit, and they had to get security involved, and everyone had to leave Toys R Us. So I can't imagine what that's like, but I'm just saying from my end, I realized what it did to me later on.
Definitely affected.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It left an impact.
Yeah.
Yeah. So exactly.
So what you're saying really speaks to me.
Right. When you
I remember
dig back.
exactly that.
Yeah.
And I remember so many times in my life where I was like, oh, well, I don't want to tell people this because it'll make people uncomfortable. And then it all came from that. It's like in the craziest way, it all came from that moment where it's like, if I don't say anything, then everyone just gets to go home and like we have a nice night.
Right.
And so like I'd rather just do that than like say like, hey, I thought this guy was trying to go after my little brother, and that was really weird that he's doing this. Yeah. So
yeah. So think back, because like there's probably an incident that happened or multiple ones that shaped why you hold back or like are guarded, and if you start working through those, you'll probably start to be able to get a little more open and kind of trust. And the more that you can open up and it is safe, the more you're reaffirming to your inner child that like it's safe,
legit.
And so your fears start to go away, and you just open up.
Yep.
So I wish you luck with that. Let us know how it goes. That was our last question. Thank you so much for writing. Again, if you have questions that you'd like to email us, there are a few more in here that I didn't get to, so we'll get to that in the next episode. But if you have any questions that you'd like to ask, a lot of people send relationship questions, but you can ask questions about anything you want. Like that pole dancing one was fun.
It was great.
So yeah.
All these were great. Thank you so much.
All of them were great, but like any question
but it was
that you
different.
want.
It was just very different.
Yeah, I'm just using that as an example that it doesn't have to be relationship,
exactly.
but we obviously love answering relationship questions. But yeah, podcast at Nikki.Limo, and we will try to get to it on the show. And hope you got
thanks
something
everybody.
out of that.
Make sure to tune in the show so you can see how hot Nikki looks and how cute Franklin's being.
And how hot that Steve looks in his Colts Hawaiian
Tommy
shirt.
Bahama Colts, Tommy Bahama shirt. Let's go, boys.
Frankos. We'll
Let's
see you
go,
next
boys.
time.
NFL's back. See you. Bye.
Bye.